Good morning everyone! I hope you're all well. Today is the second day of the follow-alongs and today we will be doing a general stretch. So this is basically for anyone, for everyone. Everyone can join in and get benefits from it. It's a nice relaxing kind of general stretch. So I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed yesterday's session and let's get on with it. So make sure you've got a bit of space in your room and we're going to start standing with our feet about shoulder width apart, a little bit wider is fine. Arms out to the side and then we're just going to reach over to the side. Get a nice oblique stretch. Hold that for about 5 to 10 seconds. And then we're going to flatten down the back, reach the arm to the wall. Legs should be nice and straight. And then reaching both hands to the leg. Again, legs should be straight if you can. Try and get the chest flat down to the leg. Coming into the middle, both hands reaching into the middle. Try and keep the weight for the front of the toes in this position and legs should be straight. Try and let gravity pull you down to the middle. And then reaching to the other foot, chest flat down to the leg. Flattening down the back, reaching to the wall. Arms coming out to the side and finally reaching over to the side. And relax. Bring the legs together. We're going to go into a standing pike forward. So walking the hands down the legs, legs nice and straight, aiming for the chest flat to the legs. You can link the arms if you want to let gravity pull you a little bit closer down to the ground. Again, I want you to try and keep the weight through the front of the feet rather than dropping it back to the heels. And if your arms are linked, unlink them. I've reached behind the backs of the calves or reach down to the ground. Try and get the chest a little bit closer into the legs. And last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to drop down onto our knees. Bring our legs through and we're going to get into a shoulder stretch. So first shoulder stretch is going to be hands facing towards the body, elbows bent, and then we're going to be walking our body forwards until you can feel the stretch in the front of the shoulders. And we're going to change the hand direction, so arms are going to be going straight behind us, hands are going to be facing towards the wall behind us. And we're going to walk the hands as far down as we can until you can feel a stretch again in the front of the shoulders. And we've got 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And coming up, we're going to go into some arm swings, so arms coming across the chest. And we're going to do a tricep stretch, so bringing one elbow above the head and then pressing down gently on that elbow. And release the arm and change sides. And then releasing the arm, bringing one arm across the chest and lightly pressing the elbow. Release that arm and change to the other side. and relax. Next we're going to go into a straddle stretch, so legs are coming out to the side, arms are coming out to the side, and we're going to reach over to one leg and then try and rotate the body round to the ceiling. So if you can, try and get that head looking up to the ceiling. Some of you guys are going to be more like this, and that's fine. Some of you guys are going to be all the way down, and again, whatever stage you're at, hopefully you can feel a stretch. Make sure it's not too much of an intense stretch, because you don't want to end up injuring yourself. So from there, we're going to bring both hands either side of the leg, and we're going to try and lower the chest all the way down to the leg. If you're all the way down to the leg, try and look up towards that foot. Try again and keep that leg straight and both thighs on the floor. From this position, we're going to stay low down to the ground, coming through the middle to the other leg. Both hands reaching towards that foot. If you can, try and keep the chest up, looking up at that foot. Make sure in this position the legs aren't turning in. And then arms are coming out to the side, and we're going to reach over. So rotate that body around to the ceiling. And relax. We're going to reach the arms up into the middle, and we're going to lower down into the middle, trying to keep that back as flat as possible. So it's that hinge at the hip position. We did in one of the exercises yesterday. So that back is staying straight, hinging at the hip, and then trying to get as low down as you can. Elbows are going to go down to the ground, or if you can, you're going to lower the chest all the way down to the ground. Whatever level you're at, we're going to hold for about 30 seconds. So try and ease yourself into the stretch and hold that position. Knees should be as straight as possible. Guys, a lot of you are going to be closer to up here. Some of you guys might even be struggling to get into this upright seated position. But whatever level you're at, just hold that position. Try and gradually ease a little bit lower down to the ground. So we're going to hold for another 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to reach the arms up to the ceiling. We're going to bring the legs together. And we're going to do the same thing again. So this time we're going to walk the hands down the legs, trying to keep the legs as straight as possible. Try and keep that back straight at the beginning, and then reaching all the way towards the feet. So again, you might be reaching beyond the feet, you might be still up here. Whatever position, you can feel a slight stretching behind the hamstrings. You might feel it, the calves as well. So all the way down if you can, reach that head towards the feet in front of you. And we're just going to hold that position for 30 seconds. So you've got 20 seconds remaining, so keep holding that position. And 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're coming up, reaching the arms up to the ceiling and round. And we're going to go into our first glute stretch. So one leg is coming across the front of the body. We're going into a pigeon position. Then we're focusing on lowering that back hip down to the ground. You should feel it stretching the outer glute of the front leg. And then you might feel it also stretching the quad of the back leg. So just holding that pigeon position. If you can, try and bring the front leg at a slight right angle with the knee. And then, as I said, pushing that back hip down to the ground. If you want to, you've got the option to lower the chest down to the ground as well for a bit more of a stretch. And we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax, coming out that side, we're going to change to the other leg. So again, right angle if you can with the front leg. Back glute, front glute, push down to the ground. Back hip, push down to the ground. And then if you want to, you can lower the chest down to the ground as well. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax, coming out of that position. We're going to go into another glute stretch, this time on your back. One leg is going to be crossed over the front leg, and then you're going to pull that leg, which is out front, towards the chest. If you want to, you can drive the knee away from you to the wall in front of you as well for a bit more of a stretch in that position. And we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that leg, and then we're going to change to the other side, so crossing that foot over the knee, bringing the other knee in towards the chest, and then you've got the option to drive that knee, which is out to the side in front of you. And we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that leg, coming out of that position, and we're going to move on to lunges. We're going to bring the left leg forwards into our first lunge position, pushing the hips forwards, right angle with the knee and the foot on the ground, and trying to again drive that back hip down to the floor. We should feel a quad stretch in this position. Chest is up, arms are resting on the leg in front of us. Make sure when you're doing all these stretches you've got really good posture. So the lunges are in preparation for splits. We will do a brief kind of split in this session, but if you can't do split, don't worry, you can just hold the lunge position. And we're going to come into a reverse low lunge, so we're going to straighten that front leg, flex the front foot, chest is going to be coming down towards that front leg, and you should feel a stretch behind the back of the hamstring, possibly the back of the calf. We're going to come back into a front lunge. This time we're going to elevate the back leg off to the ground, so we're going to try and extend that back leg, and then again we're going to bring the chest up, resting the arms on the leg, and this is quite a challenging position to try and balance in, so we're not going to hold for too long, but try and keep that good posture. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lowering that back leg. We're going to come into a reverse high lunge, straightening both legs. Bring the chest down towards that front leg. Three, 2, 1. We're going to drop back down to that knee, keeping the hips nice and square. We're going to try and slide down to a split position. So guys, some of you might be here, some of you guys might just choose to stay in that first lunge position we did, especially if you're new to stretching. Some of you guys might be all the way into a split position. So if you're in that split position, you've got the option to lower the chest down towards the front leg. If you're quite advanced, you can also elevate the front leg. You might want to pause the video if you're going to do that, because we're not going to be holding for that much longer. The last option is you can try and elevate the ankle off the ground just by squeezing that front quad. So then you'll be working the leg as well as the flexibility position. And we're going to go for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax coming out of that position. Just give the legs a little shake out, and then we're going to change sides. So bring the right leg forwards, make sure the hips are staying square, and then into the first lunge position, pushing that back hip down to the ground, keeping the body square to the wall in front of you, and resting the arms on the front leg. From here we're going to come into our reverse low lunge, so straightening that front leg, flexing the front foot, chest is coming down towards that front leg. And we're coming back into a forwards lunge. This time we're elevating that back leg off the ground, so just trying to straighten that back leg, and then again bring the chest up. So you should feel more of a stretch in the back quad in this one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, dropping that back knee down, coming into a reverse high lunge, straightening both legs, chest down towards the front leg. Dropping down to that back knee. You've got the option to stay in a lunge position if you're new, or we can slide down splits, keeping the hips square, all the way down to that split position, and then you can either lean the chest forward, stay in an upright split position, or you can try and elevate that front foot, or you can actually put the front foot on an elevated surface. So we're holding for 30 seconds in total. So we've got 15 seconds remaining. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Coming out of that position, give the legs a little shake, and we're going to go into side to side lunges. We're going to start with one leg out to the side, aiming to try and get that second leg, which is out straight, down to the floor. So we're trying to get that hamstring down to the ground, and then again we want to try and keep the heels flat on the ground if possible. We're going to go from this side, coming slowly through the middle to the other side. You can use the hands if you want, you don't have to use the hands. And as we go from side to side, we're going to flex the foot up. So we're going to just move from one side, flex the foot, to the other side, flex the foot. This will be quite challenging for some of you guys, especially if you're not particularly flexible in the kind of hip position. But we're just going to move slowly from one side to the other side. Just get a bit of movement going in the hips. And let's do another 3 on each side. Last 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to do a hold in the middle. So we're coming into a deep squat position, lowering that body down to the ground. And then we're going to drive the knees out with the hands or the elbows. Sink the body as low down as you can, keeping the chest up, good posture the whole time. So we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And standing up, we're going to come into a frog stretch on your front. So for the frog stretch, knees are going to be in alignment with the hips. So if this position is really challenging for you, then what I would suggest doing is getting some yoga blocks or a cushion or something where you can actually rest the chest on, so it's a little bit higher and a bit more comfortable for you. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. So slowly coming out of that position. And we're going to go into a sitting up middle split position. So for this, legs are going to be going out to the side, a bit like that straddle position we were in, but legs are going to be trying to go as wide as we can get them. We're going to bring the body as far forward as possible, and then we're going to hold that position. Or your full range of motion, then you can start to elevate again the feet off the ground and really focus on squeezing the quads. That's going to really help it with leg strength in this position. So again, chest up, and we're just going to hold this position for 30 seconds. So obviously I am very flexible. Some of you guys are going to be here, and that's going to be stretching, and that's absolutely fine. You know, we want to progress over the weeks to come, so we're not the finished product. No one's the finished product. You can always progress with your flexibility. So we've got another 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming out of that position, bring the legs forwards into a bit of a shake. And we're going to go onto a back rotation exercise. So laying on your back, you're going to bring one leg across the body, trying to keep the other arm flat on the ground. So it should be nice and relaxing, this position. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release that leg, and then change sides. So bring the other leg across the body, keep the arm flat on the ground. And release that leg. You're going to come into a butterfly position. So for butterfly, you bring the feet together, the knees drop out to the side. Some of you guys might be up here, some of you guys might be down here. If your legs or your knees are quite low down to the ground, then I want you to focus on bringing the chest forwards, lowering as close down to the ground as you can. You can put a little bit of weight on the knees if you feel comfortable doing that. I don't want you pushing too hard, you should feel a nice gentle stretch in this position. So we're going to hold for another 20 seconds. And 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to come out of that position and we're going to get into cat-cows. So cat-cows, we're going to come onto our hands and knees, and we're going to lower the lumbar spine down to the ground, try and create a nice arch in the lower back. Then we're going to lift the thoracic spine up to the ceiling, high as we can, so trying to hunch over the back. And we're going to move through these two movements, so lowering our lumbar spine or lower back down to the ground, lifting the upper back up to the ceiling as high as we can. And let's just go through this another couple of times. Okay, lower back to the ground, upper back to the ceiling. And let's just do 2 more. And last one. And then we're going to come into a cobra position, so dropping the body down to the ground, and then you've got 2 options. You can either come into a cobra on your elbows, so just driving the back backwards, or you can get into a full cobra, so full extension of the arms. Try and keep the legs together the whole time. You're going to feel more of a stretch, and then driving the chest backwards. From here we're going to come into a child's pose. So we're going to sit back on our heels and then just bring the chest down to the ground. And we're going to go into one more cobra, so bring the chest down to the ground, and then we're driving the chest back, straightening the arms, or coming onto the elbows if you feel a stretch in that position, and then just holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then sitting back on the heels, lowering the chest down to the ground. Moving on to the last couple of stretches, so back onto your hands and knees, we're going to drive the heels down to the ground, coming into a downward dog position, focusing on pushing the armpits to the wall behind you, straightening the legs if you can. You've got the option to just bend each leg, nice and slowly, get a bit more of a stretch in this position. And then let's go back to a hold. And if you want to, you can lift one leg up into the air. Bringing that leg back down to the ground and changing to the other side. If you don't want to do the leg lifts, then you can just stay in that normal downward dog position, lowering that leg down to the ground. And we're going to start to walk the hands in towards the feet, let the body hang for a little bit, a couple of seconds, and then we're going to slowly walk the hands up the legs, curving of the spine, all the way till we get to the ceiling. Bring the arms up to the middle, bring the arms down to heart center, and relax, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that session. I will now also be offering a membership option on my YouTube channel. If you are advanced flexibility, advanced handstands, we will be doing an additional session each week if you want to join that. That is a paid membership option, but it's entirely up to you, and obviously all these free follow-alongs as well. So I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I will see you for the follow-along tomorrow. Bye guys!